Hello and welcome to the fourth episode of the Theo Keeps Talking podcast, where you might laugh or you might learn. My name's Theo, coming to you live from day 27 of my personal quarantine. This podcast can be found on Spotify, SoundCloud, and Apple Podcasts. If this is your first time, welcome to the show. If you're here for another time, welcome back, and let's get right into it. As more of a personal update, online classes started this previous Monday, and for some reason, I'm exhausted. For no real apparent reason. The classes are just online on Zoom, but I'm so sleepy. Like, I just can't. I can even hide my camera, and I'm just like, this is draining me. In addition, my island reached 3 stars on Animal Crossing, so I'm calling that a win. I've been playing Valorant, which is this new closed beta game by Riot Games. Anytime I'm not playing Animal Crossing, it's definitely taken the place of me playing copious amounts of Call of Duty previously. But the thing about Valorant is that I'm not really any good at it. It's a PC game, and usually I play Xbox and whatever on consoles. So I'm out here trying to figure out just how to work a mouse and a keyboard, and I am struggling. It's fun. Like I enjoy learning, but man, I am getting clapped. And my favorite thing since last recording is that I've exponentially increased my knowledge about competitive League of Legends. It's so fun to watch. It's insane how hype the crowd gets when you watch like the older videos, like pre-quarantine and everything like that, especially like in Europe and Asia. Like, just the atmosphere, it feels like a football game, like an American football game. And they have such good visuals and the theatrics and the player intros and everything like that. It's just been so much fun learning about that kind of side of esports and gaming and things like that. Today, I would like to talk about the history of social media and its trends over time. And this idea was generated by a few tweets I saw the other day, and I'm going to dive into those a bit later. So for reference, on the second episode of this podcast, I discussed how involved I am in content consumption via social media and how I spend hours on Twitter every day. For some scale, I joined Twitter around my 18th birthday in 2015. And I had like the typical slow start, but once I got to college, it was nothing but comedy on the timeline every single day. Twitter's where I discuss sports, how I learn about new music, get high quality memes, and get a good amount of like my current up-to-date information, news, politics, or whatever it may be. I get that from Twitter because, if you're a good brand, you're going to keep your Twitter up to date, whether you're the Associated Press, New York Times, whatever it may be. Back to the memes part of it. I have, as of this recording, 1,946 pictures and videos combined in my memes folder on my phone. I don't play games. For me, it's all about in the group chat. You got to get that good meme in there before the topic changes, or you missed it. Now you're late and you completely fumbled the bag. One of the best apps ever that I learned from on Twitter actually is the Shortcuts app, where you can download certain shortcuts that will allow you to do things like turn multiple alarms on at once, download YouTube videos straight to your phone, and my personal favorite, download videos straight from Twitter to your phone. It's amazing. Like, you don't have to screen record or anything like that. You just like go into like the share options, you share to the Shortcuts app, you use the Twitter downloader, and you just you have the video, same frames per second, completely unadulterated. It's fantastic. For even bigger reference, like my social media just consumption rate, pre-quarantine, my most used app on my phone was via screen time was Twitter at around 14 and a half hours a week. Then YouTube with around 9 hours a week, and Instagram before it got really annoying with around 5.5 hours a week. Now in quarantine, it's Twitter with 19 and a half hours a week, YouTube with 10 and a half hours a week, and the brand new Gen Z app, TikTok, was 6.5 hours a week. So to summarize, I'm really a social media guy. I'm going to start the deeper dive of today's conversation discussing YouTube. So the first videos I routinely watched were all video game walkthroughs around like 2009. I actually got into Pokemon really, really late for like the average person who played it. I didn't start playing until like 2008, 2009. My parents were not about that lifestyle, but I finally got into it around then. And that's when I actually started watching like walkthroughs of the game, like taking me to like walking me through like caves and like Pokemon I would have never naturally run into, because the only way is to play Pokemon Fire Red with a super powerful Charizard, and that's all you need. But I like started getting into those videos, and those videos also helped with like my interest in like public speaking, because people were like commentating over the games and I would pretend to do it too. So I would like play the game and I would discuss what I was doing, and it like really actually helped with my like narration and like my like intonation and things like that. And from there, going into like those kinds of walkthroughs, I branched into like other video gaming content too. So as far as individual content creators go, I was a massive fan of America's Best Dance Crew back when they were still on air. And the season 3 champions Quest Crew were my favorites at the time. I still really like the Jabberwockies. Like I followed them on TikTok and their videos are fantastic. But this was like when I first started watching. And I remember, I don't know if it was season 3 when I started watching or if that was a part of the reruns, whatever it may be. Quest Crew, my favorite was Dietrix, and the funny thing, he was on Quest Crew and he had a YouTube channel, so I immediately went over there, started watching his content, and that led me to Ryan Higa, aka Niga Higa, and it all blew up from there. So this was like the early 2010s, and around that time I was watching a lot of Prank vs. Prank, Achievement Hunter, Epic Mealtime, Ray William Johnson equals 3, Epic Rap Battles of History, and then my favorite of all time, Swoozie. Of all those channels, I still watch Swoozie and still will rewatch his old content happily. There was certainly a period where I got into the vlogging side of YouTube and how cool that seemed, but it seemed like as soon as I started watching it, I stopped watching it just as quickly. It's definitely interesting looking at how my viewing patterns changed, because I got into YouTube because of dancing and gaming, and now I'm still in largely because of gaming, but because of news and sports now too. I used to watch a lot of dance tutorials like Matt Stefanina and Wildebeest, and I also really got into the educational channels like Vsauce, SciShow, Minute Physics, ASAP Science, Life Noggin, Crash Course, and Mental Floss, like those kinds of channels. And I was really into those, but now the only one I routinely watch is CGP Grey. He doesn't upload as like that often, but his videos they're really, really good. One of my favorites that he went through was the logistics of how to perfectly unload a plane in terms of like the overhead cabins, because now it's like you get off a plane, people stand up, and it takes forever and ever and ever to go from wherever you're sitting, like you're in row 33, one row from the back of the plane, and it's gonna take you like 25 minutes to get off the plane. But he had like this perfect like diagram of how to like board a plane and then how to like get off the plane, like luggage and everything, and it was like a really, really good video. And I've been watching him since like 2013, 14, like around then. And then like I got into list shows later, so like Watch Mojo and like All Time 10s. Those were basically very mindless videos to just distract me from whatever I should have been doing. And then content shows like React, the Fine Brothers, and CinemaSins. CinemaSins was really good for a while. And then I just stopped watching movies. Like it was really strange. Like I had this really weird lull where all I really watched were MCU movies. So as long as if it wasn't an MCU Marvel movie or maybe even like a DC movie, I really wasn't like finding too much content on his channel that I liked. And then I got into more cartoon channels similar to Swoozie, like Casually Explained and The Odd Ones Out. I'll watch Casually Explained from time to time now, but not nearly as frequently. Nowadays, it's all Philip DeFranco. Last Week Tonight with John Oliver for like my news kind of content, and then video game highlights, sports highlights when there were actual sports that were going on, and uploads from Undisputed, First Things First, and Colin Cowherd. So like that's the Fox Sports 1 side of everything. And I have like a very old man's viewing style when it's just sports and news for the majority of my content, and it's sprinkled in with some video games so I can feel young again. So now for a more general view of YouTube, which has absolutely exploded over the past decade. All historical data, was found on Fandom, Social Blade, and of course my memory. So for those who remember, Fred was the first YouTube channel to pass 1 million subscribers back in 2009, which was just an insane number. Like 1 million subs was just unheard of. In 2011, Ray William Johnson closed the year #1 in terms of subscribers with 5 million subscribers, while there were still under 40 channels to have 1 million subscribers back in 2011. Now there are over 16,000 channels over 1 million subscribers, with the top 50 all over 29 million plus subscribers. So the landscape is just completely different. Now music labels and artists have their channels with tens of millions of subscribers, while endemic content creators who have been around for forever may not even come close to those numbers. Like, I remember watching both KSI and PewDiePie, both like pre-explosion in popularity, because I really liked when KSI made FIFA videos before he started fighting whichever I don't care, whichever of those two brothers he's ended up fighting. I actually really liked his content. Then he started getting into like rapping, and like he had his own TV show. It just got really messy after that. And then I remember PewDiePie's like OG Slenderman videos, and had no idea that he'd be like the most popular individual content creator by a long shot now. And then some fun YouTube trends that have happened over time. I remember like the boyfriend tag videos, like my boyfriend does my makeup, blah, 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 stuff like that. And then like parody videos like the GOAT, Weird Al Yankovic, like those videos were just so good. And then of course, Rickrolling. Oof. Oh man, Rickrolling was such a sensational time because the internet was still super primitive. Like if you were young, you were probably good at the internet, but if you were older, you're still definitely struggling with like setting up your email and stuff. So like it was really easy to get caught Rickrolling. Like you could get anybody. It was such a great time. On the contrary, two of the YouTube trends that I've seen evolve over time and have grown to just hate are both clickbait as a whole and like quote unquote prank videos. I remember like I used to actually despise Philip DeFranco because in the old YouTube format, videos were restricted to being 10 minutes long, and your thumbnail had to be in the middle of the time sequence of that video. So like say you had a 10-minute video, whatever was at 5 minutes exactly, whatever that frame was going to be your thumbnail for that video. So what he did was he would just put boobs at the halfway point of each of his videos every single time. And I remember like scrolling on the trending page or whatever it may be, and I would keep seeing like his old name was Sexy Phil, like SXEPHIL, and I was like, I hate seeing this guy. Like it was just so annoying. But now he's evolved, and I'm super proud of it because he's my #1 source for news, and other kinds of clickbait are just so misleading. They insinuate additional drama that may or may not have happened, but it's just messy. And I'm just not a fan. But you know what? It's like I can't police everybody, you know. The other trend that I'm not a fan of are prank videos / like social experiments, and they're just the worst, right? They're usually people being public nuisances or doing things that are otherwise deplorable and trying to avoid any immediate backlash because they're doing it for a prank, quote unquote. And it's just disgusting. My least favorite of these people is Adam Sala. And if you've never heard of him, I'm sorry for temporarily introducing him to you. Adam posted a video in late 2016 where he claimed that Delta kicked him and his friend off of a flight for speaking Arabic on a plane. So for reference, Adam is Arab, but he had at the time repeatedly made YouTube videos where he would dress in Islamic clothing and scare people in public and then blame them for being scared by calling them racist. So he would openly bother people. He would like yell things at them and you would like insinuate that he dropped like a bomb near them and run away. Like he was being a public nuisance, and then he decides to pull this stunt, and it just absolutely blew up, right? So Passengers, after the video blew up on Twitter and YouTube, posted their comments and videos, and it showed Adam counting down backwards very loudly on a plane in Arabic. Now, was America very tense in 2016 when this happened? Yes. Was Islamophobia very bad in 2016? Yes. However, you cannot do that on a plane in any language repeatedly without getting in trouble. And the way he framed it was that Delta was being racist, and social media just ate it up. Like, I remember when it came to my attention, it had like 80,000 retweets. But like, I remember it like when I most recently checked on it, however long ago that was, it was in the neighborhood of like 250,000 retweets. Like, it just exploded. And I remember when it came my way, like, I didn't buy into it because I knew I'd seen that guy's face before. I'm like, something about him feels familiar. So I went to his Twitter where he posted it, and then I saw a YouTuber, and I'm like, this seems a little suspicious. Clicked on it, scrolled right down to where I needed to get to, and boom. Saw 2 different videos. It was a bunch of quote-unquote pranks of him doing things in Arabic to scare people. And that's all the evidence I needed. Like, he's just an awful human being. Like, he's just an awful person. And that's what I'll wrap up my spiel about YouTube. So I'll segue to Instagram before I get into Twitter, because Instagram trends are certainly easier to recollect and also 3 times more annoying than Twitter's, especially right now. But that's just my opinion. So Instagram gets a little blurry for me. I joined in late 2013. I had no idea what I was doing. I had braces, so like selfies were way out of the question, and stories weren't a thing until 2016, when back then, admittedly, a lot of people thought Instagram stories, why would I do that? I'll just use Snapchat. How dumb we were. And it felt like the Wild Wild West. Like, every night after 8 p.m. it was like for a TBH and rate everywhere. And like an idiot, I didn't know what those meant. I literally didn't know what I was like TBH. Like, literally a post would have like a really cool background and it would just say TBH, and I'm like, I wonder what that means. But like, some of my friends would post it, so I would just like it because I'm like, oh, my friend posted this, I'll like this, right? So I just liked it, and I wanted to support them, and I was just like, yeah, you know, like for a TBH, sure, man, that's the vibe. I'm glad I never cared about them. Because, like, imagine you had a crush on somebody, right? And you did that, like, TBH thing. Like, imagine you were like, this is my moment. This is how I shoot my shot. They posted a like in TBH for a rate. I'm going to double tap that. And this is my moment. This is how I get in there, right? And they hit you with the, IDK, you seem cool, I guess, 5. That's it. Imagine getting dunked on like that. I would never talk to anyone ever again. Like, it'd be over. I would throw on Marvin's Room as loud as humanly possible. My house is hearing it for the next week straight. Like, there is no way I would even subject myself to something like that. Oh, man. But Instagram trends are interesting. Like, I wonder if the things that happened when I was in high school from, like, 2011 to 2015, did they happen because I was in high school, or did they happen because it was like 2013, right? Like, do the Gen Z / Zoomers / the quarantines, like, do they still do that stuff? Like, oh man, my favorite thing is looking back on people's pages who didn't delete or archive their really old pictures and seeing like those Valencia filter 37% sharpen 91% warm Samsung Galaxy S4 pictures. Like, oh my goodness, what were we doing back then? Like, people really posted a picture wearing a snapback, True Religion, and a G-Shock with a deep fry filter on their pictures. Like, we were deep frying pictures and posting them. Like, who did we even think we were? Like, we were deep frying pictures. Oh my goodness. But shout out to the Man Crush Mondays, the whatever on Earth Tuesdays were, Women Crush Wednesdays, Throwback Thursdays, Flashback Fridays, the Selfie Saturdays or Sundays, whatever day. Oh my goodness, we were a mess. And it turns out we're not much better, right? Like where like Instagram stories have devolved to a point where it's like, yeah, I'm gonna draw a carrot. You better draw that carrot. I'm a tag. You better draw that carrot. I'm like, hey, first of all, I can't draw. Second of all, no. But it's like, ain't no way. Like there was the until tomorrow. Like, come on, just make a Finsta. Like if it's gonna be a bad picture, okay, buy into it. Make it a bad picture. If it's gonna be a just okay picture, you're not buying in. Just make a Finsta. It's okay. Finstas are okay, right? Like there was definitely an initial wave of pushback because everyone who went through like a slight emotional, like just anything that was taxing to them at all, by the time they were a sophomore, either in high school or college, Finsta got made. It just happens, right? But we've accepted it. Like before it was like, who does that? Now it's like common conversation. Like I was at a networking event and one of the recruiters was openly talking about her Finsta and actually showed us. And I'm like, okay. Hey, I mean, if a professional recruiter says it's okay to have a Finsta, then I think it's okay to have a Finsta, right? And I remember, oh man, what was that? I don't remember the brand of it because obviously I wasn't trying to get it for myself. Do you guys remember that red swimsuit that just so happened to be everywhere? Like, oh my goodness, that thing was everywhere. People were like, oh my God, I gotta get it. Like just, oh my goodness. And then on top of that, when David Dobrik was going to give away that car was everywhere. Like, I don't even remember. Was it white? Was it blue? I don't know. All I know is everyone's story. David Dobrik's going to give me a car. Therefore, I got to post it. And I'm like, good gracious. This thing's everywhere. Like, it felt like I was way back when, where it was, remember like the dress, like the black, was it black? If it was black and blue or like white and gold or whatever, like I felt like I was seeing that swimsuit as much as I was seeing that dress. By the way, it was black and blue. I don't know. It was black and blue. All right. It's okay. We're adults now. We can talk about it in an open forum. It was black and blue. Now to Twitter. Twitter, the greatest social media app of all time. I joined in 2015 when quote tweeting still wasn't a thing. Favoriting was still a star. Instead of the heart, it was a star. And then the format was all in blocks instead of like how rounded the app format looks now. And I remember how prominent Vine was at this time. And I'm lumping in Vine, TikTok, and Twitter, like all in the same kind of section here. Because, Vine got purchased by Twitter. I feel like I saw the really, really good Vines on Twitter. And I see like the upper echelon on TikToks on Twitter as well. Twitter saw the era of tweet decking, which is basically a streamlined way to steal and repost popular tweets. And this era was like super defined by like that Dory account, the common white girl account, and I remember Based Courage. Like those are like the main three that were just stealing everybody's tweets. And I just don't understand. Like for me, how do you like that? Like that account took that from somewhere else. It's almost like if I were to backtrack a little bit to Instagram, like Daquan, right? Daquan basically just reposts stuff, right? A lot of I don't know of any Instagram meme accounts that just post original content. Like Instagram relies on Twitter for all of its meme content. So I'm like, Instagram meme pages suck. It's just as simple as that. Why? Because they're just Twitter. Like it's Twitter on Instagram. Like it's as simple as that. Twitter made the decision to kind of get rid of those accounts a few years back, but the situation hasn't gotten much better. And one of the more interesting things that I just can't get, like Twitter does have some faults, and I'm gonna get into those now. Before we get into the main ones, have the two side ones. One thing I cannot deal with on social media. I just can't. And if you get offended by this, that's not my fault. That is entirely your fault. I cannot understand why people will retweet posts or anything from a fake celebrity account, right? Like, how do you retweet some like Tory Lanez fan account where it's like Tory Lanez is still like profile, it's the same exact profile picture, but it's not a verified account, and it's saying something like your true friends will show up at your darkest times, just something sad like that. Like, why do you retweet stuff like that? Like, it's not them. You would know better if it was them, right? Why? Like, if there's my goodness, why? Like, why do you retweet something from a not real person? Or I mean, it's a real person, but it's not a celebrity. They wouldn't, like, why would they tweet some sad, deep stuff like that? And why are you being sad on the timeline? Like, just first of all, want to say thank you to Instagram for following the Twitter route and adding the mute feature. Muting accounts is just, it saved my quarantine. Thank goodness. But yeah, anyone who retweets some like fake celebrity stuff, they get muted. Pretty straightforward. Another thing, I am not an astrology kind of guy. It's just not for me. Like, if you were to say, Theo, scale of 1 to 10, how into astrology are you? I think give me a 1.1. Some of the memes that are involved with my astrology sign, Aries, I guess, they're funny. Like, I like them. They're interesting. But there are people who are emotionally reliant on these things, and I just got to say, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. The worst people about it are the ones that are like, they preach it to you. They're like, you got to get so in tune with like your emotional side. Like people's emotional intelligence isn't high enough. So they really got to start looking at their horoscope and what the stars are going to tell them. I'm like, imagine being emotionally dependent on someone else retweeting something about some stars. Imagine. Like, I imagine thinking like, yes, the way to increase my emotional intelligence is to be detrimentally reliant on if this Twitter account tweets what I need it to about my stars. Like, what? Like, how are you going to tell me my emotional, like, the people who are worse at this, how are you going to tell me, someone who doesn't know you and you don't know me, that my emotional imbalance is caused by the fact that I don't know what my star is doing in Gatorade right now? Like, what? Oh my God, I'm so out of balance because Mercury's in Powerade right now. Like, I don't care if Venus is applying for Medicaid at this very moment. I do not care. All right, you are single. Your last 3 boyfriends cheated on you, and you mean to tell me some stars are gonna fix that for you? They're not. All right. I'm sorry, I got a little intense there, but it's true. So the two main parts of Twitter that I have some concern, have something I want to address. One is a concern, and one is something that's very interesting. One of I just addressed the reposting kind of account, but I'll get into it a little further. And then the number one is the bot account. So the bot accounts have been more complex over time lately, but I did notice something in common with them. They have a very set pattern as to how they interact. And I broke it down to a science. They usually have a very, very generic handle. For example, an account, as of this recording, got deleted, but when I was prepping for this topic, it was still alive. The was as follows: Emma, EMMA, eat, EAT, lot, LOT. Very simple name, generic, right? The account is made very recently. Like, the tweet blew up. The tweet that made its way onto my timeline had blown up like end of March, but the account was also made in March 2020. The account's made very recently, has a solid amount of followers, but is following 0 people. The profile picture usually is a light-skinned or fairer-skinned individual who is not showing their face. That's all. They have all of that in common. But they tweeted something very generic, akin to as follows. I hate when my boyfriend who isn't my boyfriend does blah, 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 blah. Boom. 57,000 retweets, 100,000 likes. I'm just like, did people just, like, are y'all not tired of retweeting the same thing over and over and over? Like, I saw you retweet that last week. Like, come on now. Go on that person's timeline, and even though they follow 0 people, their timeline is full of the same exact thing I just described. No face in the profile picture, generic tweet, recent account. They all have something in common, though. if you were to go under all of those accounts' viral tweet, and you would see that they have the same exact thing. And this was the quote under Emma Eatlot's very viral tweet that I saw. It is as follows. If you guys relate, go ahead and specifically ampersand, capital F, follow me. So if you guys relate, go ahead and follow me, comma, like this for a follow back, babes, like 7 spaces, and then the red heart emoji next to the pouty eyes emoji, the one that my girlfriend uses on me literally all the time, every single time, right? Like the pleading eyes emoji. I think that's what it's officially called. And it's quite incredible how advanced bots can be these days, because like if you were not paying attention, right, let's just say you were in your feelings and they tweeted something in their feelings, or that bot tweeted something that resonated with you, you would retweet it. You'd be like, oh yeah, that's a person, like instead of an egg like that it used to be, and you would retweet it and not think anything about it. But that's a bot. Like, it's a bot account. Like, when I did research on this account, that account had 960 tweets on its timeline, but was following 0 people. I'm just like, well, that doesn't make any sense. But anyway, back to Twitter being great. Twitter does something that Instagram cannot. Twitter is the best app at capturing current events and making them funny, but also making sure that those jokes will be relevant moving forward. I remember World War III night was just some of the funniest content I've ever seen. Quote tweeting has taken the meme game to an entirely different level, where you can use a SpongeBob meme to respond to a coronavirus tweet and everyone still gets it, because that SpongeBob meme already went viral months ago. So if anyone's ever heard of the diffusion of innovation curve, I like to call it the diffusion of content innovation curve. Definitely defines Twitter and Reddit, whichever one you prefer, as the innovators and early adopters. Instagram's always late to the party. And by the time it's gotten to Facebook, it's way over then. It's kind of like how your parents would say, oh, good job, that looks so great, to like your trash arts and craft project that you did when you were a little kid. But now you laugh at the memes they show you like 6 business weeks after you saw it last time. And it's like, oh, mom, that's so funny. Like, you saw that meme like in July of last year. And she's like, oh my God, come see this on Facebook. And I'll be like, oh, mom, that's so funny. It's like it all comes full circle. The circle of life is amazing, right? Lastly, I want to address a way that social media has shaped the entertainment and business world as we know it. Free advertising. It's amazing how social media can make real world change happen because something's funny, or the jokes about something is funny. The easiest examples ever include the Popeyes chicken sandwich. That would not have blown up the way it did if it wasn't for social media. It's so simple. It was a direct correlation to how many people were tweeting and like Instagramming about it at the same time, that literally Popeyes ran out of the chicken sandwich. They ran out of chicken fillets to make sandwiches. Granted, they are here, like they're now, here full time. Like, they brought them back like fall of 2019, but like it was just so interesting to see how that worked, because Popeyes could have never planned for that. Like, there was this I think, their account name is Supreme Dreams. Like, it's the like Mark and everyone like that. They made this. They made like a bunch of videos involving that, and then like the Lean Squad. They made a bunch of like videos involving like Chick-fil-A and Pop. It was just so funny, and like Popeyes could have never planned for that. They could have never been like, yeah, these guys are going to tweet about this, and we're going to like see this through. Like, no one could have ever planned for that. And like social media is just like, it's the easiest and it's the funniest and fastest word of mouth ever created. Another one, AirPods. But before the release of the AirPod Pros, there was nothing but public broke shaming if you didn't have AirPods before Christmas 2018. Like, it was nothing but broke shaming. Another one is the advanced FOMO, fear of missing out, from seeing people travel, right? Like, I remember watching the prices of flights to Greece just skyrocket after a few people on Instagram and Twitter went there like a few years ago. But by far, and not even close to the other categories of social media influence, is music. Posting dancing videos to Vine, TikTok, and Twitter has made some people richer than they could have ever imagined. First and foremost, I want to say props to Soulja Boy for figuring out that this would be the wave for the foreseeable future, because he was absolutely right. One of the largest early examples was this horrendous song that combined two dance moves that should have never been done consecutively. Yes, I am talking about Watch Me by Silento. What a nightmare. This was back in 2015 where it peaked at number 3 on the Hot 100 charts because you could dance to it, right? Just a disaster. I've never seen so many unseasoned, lack of rhythm, bland mayonnaise looking nays in my life. Just awful, right? And I just couldn't imagine feeling that I needed to dance to that and respect myself at the same time. Like, how could you dance to that song and be like, yeah, I'm a fan, right? Just, no judgment pass. Just had to get that off my chest. On the other hand, a great example of this trend was when these two girls were dancing to Jimmy Choo by Fetty Wap outside a gas station. That video just blew up, and they crushed all 7 seconds of that video, which was insane, right? Like, I called myself Teddy Wap because I was a huge fan. I hadn't even heard that song before, but here come these two girls putting the song on the map. It peaked at 65 on the Hot 100, and it's easy to say it's solely thanks to that video. And this preceded many, many more songs and trends like this, leading up to where we are with TikTok. All of these just unseasoned dance routines, the songs like Crash the Party, Lottery by K-Camp, which people seem to only know as Renegade now, poor K-Camp, among many others, has propelled some artists to endless cash for the time being. One of the more disheartening examples was when a quote-unquote dance was made to Relationship by Young Thug featuring Future, a classic song, if I do say so myself. And now people know the song for all the wrong reasons. I was asking one of my friends who posted a TikTok to that song if they had listened to the rest of the song before, had even heard it prior to like going on TikTok, and the answer was no, which is so sad, right? The album Relationship is on Beautiful Thugger Girls, came out in 2017, and my personal favorite song is On Fire, but that's besides the point. Dance videos can make people rich basically for free, no necessary advertisement. Just hope that social media catches on to your song and its wealth for the artist for the foreseeable future. Which brings me to my closing point on this topic. It's kind of sad that there have been so many songs that have lyrics strictly for viral purposes. Like, they'll put dance moves in there, but the rest of the song is just pure garbage. Best example is this awful song titled I'm Not Joking. Hit That Bit for the Gram by Mighty Mike. I'm not going to recite the lyrics because I would accursed my laptop and my microphone by even thinking about doing something like that. But you can research that on your own. It's just so sad hearing those kinds of songs, but I understand where the money is. Make a song that goes big on TikTok and you're in there. You're in there like swimwear. So I want to say thank you for tuning in to another episode of Theo Keeps Talking. If you would like, I would greatly appreciate if you've rated the podcast after listening. Share if you like. I'm aiming to keep my weekend posting schedule consistent, so I'm looking forward to having another one set up either next Saturday or Sunday. I hope that you all had a great week. Stay safe, wash your hands, and I hope you all will tune in again soon.